Greetings, this is Robert Walsh with the YouTube channel Truth. And I've got several topics I'm going to be covering today. Thank you for tuning in. Buoyancy, the super rich, mega yachts, and a bit more. Sea level. Yeah, you're looking at it right now. This is the body of water that covers the face of the earth. I've spent years out here doing this. And it's with my great pleasure that I bring you reality. This is what we're looking at right now. I'm going to quick zoom in on the moon high in the sky with the P1000. If you're watching a non-magnified zoom on the moon, you know you're watching the iPhone 10 recording. The tide is, we're at mid-tide right now. It was only a 4-footer, and I'm going to zoom in on the sun right now appearing. Looks like over the Wades Island. I'm on the coast of South Carolina right now, on the northernmost edge of South Carolina, nearly a few miles from the waterway. I'm next to the point in Cherry Grove. That's where I'm actually located right now. So I've got several topics that I'm also going to cover. The world's super rich. Jeff Bezos, arguably the wealthiest man in the world, at $160 billion. And then Steve Jobs was born in 1955. I believe it was February 24th, 1955. Where is Steve now? Did he get himself uploaded to the cloud? Uploaded to the internet with a neural lace, a neural link. So there's a lot of questions. We don't know what we don't know, to be clear. So the deceived are unaware that they're deceived, whoever they are, whatever their situation in life actually is. I recently liked some videos that are going to be on my like video playlist, and one of the things that I wanted to mention as well, there were quite a few videos of mine that went missing. They were deleted. So they were featured on my like video playlist, and I don't know if they were my own personal recordings that were deleted, or if they were simply a channel that was taken down. If you scroll through the playlist, you can see what I'm talking about. There was a whole group of videos right next to one another that are not there, which is very unusual. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, a few other names. They're not even the wealthiest by a long shot. In fact, some of the wealthiest, I believe we don't even hear their names very much. One of the realities that I'm reminded of is what would it profit a man if he gained the whole world and lose his soul? Or what can a man give in exchange for his soul? Look at the difference just a little bit of movement makes there. So water seeks level, covers the face of the earth, and doesn't conform to a spinning water sphere. Good morning. Except in the imagination. That's where the globe exists. I know there's globes in classrooms. Those are only models. I'm talking about the actual, what people refer to as all around the globe. that's fiction. So in the mega yacht video that I shared, you'll see where I heard mention at least 3 times of the globe, all around the globe. The world's wealthiest, I would think they're pretty aware that we're not on a globe. When you look at the lifestyles that they live in, and the items they're able to purchase with massive amounts of resources, then you can understand why they would not really want people like me showing up at their parties. And good luck finding a people like me. That's one of the things that I would say about that, is there's not I wouldn't trade all the wealth that you saw. If you look at the like videos list, all the wealthiest people in the world, I wouldn't trade what I have in actually being born again for all the money in the world, all the stuff. What would it profit a man if he gained the whole world and lose his soul? So this is the cashmere sport coat that's been seen millions and millions of times, about 40 million times. AI knows who I am. The world's wealthiest, some of them do. I'm going to hashtag some of their names, and I'll probably end up going down a digital dirt road of quarantine, as it were. Oh well, they're lying. I ain't buying. So I wouldn't fit into their, it's not just that my truth shirt wouldn't make the dress code. It's my proclamation of the truth and exposing the lies, and some of the liars in this world would not make the cut. They wouldn't want to see it. They wouldn't want it to be there. So I don't know how the lighting looked. This is how the lighting looks this way. Oh, I know what I can do. I can flip this around and step back on in. Now, my dad sold steel commercially to factories all over the upper Midwest, including Marine Travel Lift, that he sold massive amounts of steel to, and that company made lifts that were big enough to move ships, mega yachts, that type of thing. I saw the Marine Travel Lift. I've driven one. I used to be the boat guy at Rawhide Boys Ranch in New London, Wisconsin. Bart Starr, the Green Bay Packer, lent credibility to that organization back in 1965 when it began its mission. I was there from 91 to 2002. You can look that up if you care to. My name is Robert Forsch, and I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. Been saying it for years. It's true. You're looking at a sea level liquid mirror. People reflect off of the beach, off of the sand, off the water, reflect on their lives, past, present, future, mourning the loss of loved ones through death, divorce, anticipating new life together with marriages and expectant parents and all of that. One of the realities many of us don't even have to consider is how would we insulate ourselves from people wanting to take what we've acquired. I'll talk more on that later. I'm going to zoom in on the local sun. The sun and the moon and stars move over a stationary level Earth. Non-rotating, not a globe. If you hashtag local sun, you'll see a lot of content showing the sun in the midst of the clouds. People come from all over the world to enjoy the beauty and majesty of creation here. I get to drive about 20 minutes to come on out here. come out here a lot. Where the sun and the moon appear and vanish on the horizon, and the duration of visibility can't be explained by the heliocentric or globe model. That's why I talk about it. They're lying about that. God's Word says, the author of the Bible, God, creator of this place, the Alpha and Omega, the great I am, the living Word, the living water, the bread of life, the truth, the way, the truth, and the life, Yeshua, Yahweh. Lots of titles, lots of names. One creator. I'm using the record feature on my iPhone 10 rather than a broadcast. I want to see how the quality compares. The sun moves and the earth doesn't. That means the heliocentric model is a lie. That means a whole lot of corporations and people are in on the lie, whether they know it or not. As we raised our now 3 adult sons, we were part of the deception. We taught that we lived on a globe and did not know any different then. By irony and paradox, we don't know what we don't know. The deceived are unaware of their deception. So after I hashtag the names and the mega yachts and start hashtagging some searches of the rich and famous, will I get invited to a private get-together, a private yacht excursion? Unlikely. That's not even why I'm doing this. However, I got to tell you, I would be very cautious. People go missing out at sea. Celebrities go missing. People die under curious circumstances. I used to live in California. I'm the Robert Forsch that used to live in Seal Beach. So higher is drier all over the face of the stationary Earth. The break in the reflection, the breaks, I should say, in the reflection are because of just a slight amount of elevation in the middle of the view, approximately. If you're wondering why, a local sun, it's very close in the midst of the clouds, as Job 37 proclaims. So when NASA and all the individuals that can remember and retrieve the 92.8 million miles and 1.5 million Earth sizes and all of that, I can remember and regurgitate it too. That doesn't make it true. Are you believing the truth, or have you been deceived? How would you know? How is it possible for you to know? I want you to think about that. I encourage people to seek the truth with all of your heart, because it matters for eternity. It takes less than a day to hear the entire New Testament. I believe the Bible is God's Word and is true, and all others are suspect and should be compared to Scripture. The Bible, God's Word actually says in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion. So it's actually impossible for people to believe the truth if they apparently don't love it. They're not going to find it. God is going to help hide it from them. He's going to help them to believe the lie they apparently want to believe. I meet deceived people every day. I was one of them. One of the evidences that I have of the reality of God and His existence is He now lives in and through me, even though I thought I was born again over 35 years ago, in 1982. At that point in time, I went from being a street person to working for one of the wealthiest people in Corpus Christi, Texas. Had a friend who owned a drilling company. He was worth almost $100 million, and the country club estate that I was the caretaker on, went to church with him as well, First Baptist Church in Corpus Christi. He was worth almost $500 million, and that's not even considered mega rich compared to the richest people in the world. And yet, I wouldn't trade what I have for all the money in the world. And one of the reasons why I'm featuring lifestyles of the rich and famous, it shows videography and photography that I probably won't have the opportunity to personally capture and share. However, others have already done that. Very expensive productions to put together what I showed. I like to feature the shadows, reflections, and all that out here. It's symbolic of the reality of life. The reflections of the people and taking their pictures together and commemorating quality time out on the beach here. I've got thousands of hours out here capturing beautiful videography and photography to engage people's hearts and minds, that you can look at and see the actual physics and properties of water. Buoyancy, we're going to talk about that. Buoyancy is the tendency of heavier than to fall and lighter than to float, whatever it's in, whether it's in water, the media that we're talking about, if it's in water, or if it's in the air. A helium balloon will float through the air, so will hydrogen, although it's highly combustible, as we've seen with the Hindenburg. And then the heavier will sink or fall. Wood will fall through the air and float on the water. I've got video of seashells floating on the water. A big one, size of a grapefruit. Beautiful. Kind of like Captain Nemo sized seashell, almost. A lot of what we were presented as children, like with, as I was. I remember one of my favorite movies was The Time Machine. I remember that growing up. And then we had Lost in Space and Get Smart. All of the programming that we've had throughout our whole lives has given us a world view, the way that we see things. Seeing is believing. What? What do we see and what do we believe about it? Can we be tricked? Absolutely. And I've talked about it. The events of 9/11 of 2001. Much of humanity was tricked. Some people didn't go into work that day. There was a lot of stock market trading that benefited people. Follow the trillions of dollars, the missing trillions. and then the millions and billions that were made because of the event. Larry Silverstein profited greatly. He owned the lease on the buildings on the site. How does all that happen? Well, the artificial intelligence, which I'm going to tag in both of these recordings as well, covers a lot of that. High frequency automated training that is basically very effective at predicting, projecting, and, well, maybe knowing some things. God is all-knowing, the creator of this world. He's all-knowing and all-powerful. That way exceeds artificial intelligence, which, by the way, can interrupt the power supply in the world wherever, whenever God allows. How about that? What would your life be like without electricity, even if you had a mega yacht, a private island, like Jeffrey Epstein? I talked about human cloning. Does, Jeffrey has yachts and islands and planes and all of that. Does he have a clone that's going to go to jail for him? I don't know. I don't know about that. What I do know is ultimately there's coming a time when the human experience will end for the human beings in this world. We're all eternal beings having a temporary human experience. At some point in the human experience, the child of God will be born of God's Spirit. That happened to me in 2014. There was quite a delay for that. I'm just grateful that it in fact occurred. I want to show you something really interesting with the shadows there. The shadows. So I'm gonna walk away and just let you hear the sound. I'm gonna walk into the light beam and then walk on either side of it, and I want you to see what you notice about the shadow. I'm going to check it out myself. There you have it. I'll be interested to see how that looks. I've got a friend who likes to feature some of my local sun videos. If you're watching this one, go ahead and take a look at all my videos. Just go to my videos category and look through them. There's a lot of video there with amazing video of the sun and the moon. It doesn't take much cloud to interrupt the view of the moon or the sun. So what I would like to do is thank you so much for your public and private encouragement and support. If you would like to have a YouTube Truth sticker, you can send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Robert Forsch or YouTube Truth at 169 Cloverleaf Drive, Longs, South Carolina 29568. And my phone number, let me, I'm going to flip this around for now. Let me, I don't need to. I think I've got enough diffused lighting now. My phone number is 1-843-504-1776. Also, you can reach out through the Facebook Messenger program, and hashtag YouTube Truth is my Skype handle. And I've got a WhatsApp as well. I've got to work through some of the details with some of the social media interaction. I'm Robert J. Forsch on Instagram, and of course I'm on Twitter as well. So feel free to hashtag my name if you care to. Find a lot of interesting content there that you won't find anywhere else, I can guarantee you that. And it's not just what I create, it's what I find and share. Thank you so much.